Thank you, Mr. Chairman and committee, for the invitation to be here today to comment on interim charge number 8. Refugee Services of Texas, I'm the Chief Executive Officer. We are a nonprofit that was founded in Dallas, Texas in 1978, initially to support refugees arriving to Texas and to also work with the host communities that are welcoming them. We currently have service centers in 5 cities in Texas: Austin, Dallas, Fort Worth, Houston, and Amarillo, and have a number of partnerships to conduct the work that we do. With regards to refugee resettlement, we are affiliated with 3 national nonprofits, or the VOLAGs, the mayor referred to: Church World Service, Lutheran Immigration and Refugee Service, and Episcopal Migration Ministries, who each hold a cooperative agreement with the U.S. Department of State to participate in the U.S. Federal Refugee Program. We also have an important partnership with the state of Texas, HHS, to provide services to refugees with funds from the Federal Office of Refugee Resettlement in each of our locations, and we also have a grant directly from the Department of Justice Office for Victims of Crime to serve domestic and foreign-born survivors of human trafficking across Central Texas. We usually begin a discussion of our work with a couple profiles of some of our clients. To give you an example of who we're talking about, on slide 3 in the packet that you received is a photo of the Mwajuma family, who were resettled in Dallas in 2013 after they fled the horrific civil war in the Democratic Republic of Congo, and after having spent 15 years in the Kaziba refugee camp in Kibuye, Rwanda. When they arrived to Dallas, the family broke down in song and prayer with our staff in their new home. They're now fully self-sufficient, and the employable members of the family are working in a local bakery in Dallas and at a cell phone manufacturing company. Slide 4 contains a photo of Katan and Lean Mustafa, who were resettled to Austin in 2009 after Katan's 5 years of service with the U.S. military. During that time, Katan was forced in Baghdad to relocate his family several times due to threats to their lives, and his children were never allowed to go outside and play outside their home during that duration. The Mustafas were resettled to Austin under the Special Immigrant Visa Program. Katan now supervises several refugee service programs in Austin, and his wife works the cheese counter at a local HEB. They both took their U.S. citizenship oath on World Refugee Day at the Bob Bullock Museum last year. These are just 2 of thousands of families around the United States and in Texas whose lives are literally being saved through this program. Out of the 19 million refugees in the world today, Texas has welcomed, on average, about 7,300 refugees per year over the past 3 years, which ranks it 16th among U.S. states as a percentage of our population here. Of the resettled refugees in Texas, some important factors to note: over 70% of the refugees coming to Texas are doing so to join family members that already live here in Texas, and that's a common phenomenon in the refugee program. It's a pillar. Second, over 65% of the refugees coming here are women and children. Sorry, Senator Perry, I know you've heard that before, and happy to break that out more, but that is our statistic for our clients, and many of whom, of course, have lost family members along the way. Third, all the individuals arriving through that special immigrant visa program I mentioned have already made significant and typically life-threatening contributions to the U.S. military on behalf of our country and on behalf of our interests. And lastly, these individuals are following exactly the path that we have prescribed to them about their integration into the U.S. They're going to work right away. They are paying taxes. They are getting their green card at the 1-year mark, and then they're becoming U.S. citizens as soon as that's possible, which is 4 years and 9 months after their arrival. In addition, I did want to mention a few of the many benefits that refugees do provide to our communities. We heard a statistic earlier that over 80%, and in some cases it's 100% of our employment-age clients are going to work within 6 months, sometimes 3 months after their arrival to the U.S. after a very traumatic experience. And early employment is a foundational pillar of the program as well. In every city where we work, there are numerous employers who are contacting us to ask us about job openings and who's ready to go to work at that time. There are studies that have been conducted about the economic impact of refugee resettlement in the United States and in certain regions: Tennessee, Ohio, Cleveland and specifically, and other parts in Columbus recently. These studies have all came out to the same outcome, that the net gain far outweighs the initial upfront costs of the program. And this is in addition to the cultural exposure, the entrepreneurial spirit, and in some cases the very fine food that many of these clients bring with them in their integration process. I also want to convey that we are adamant supporters that community consultation and community engagement is critical to the success of refugee resettlement. Congregations, law enforcement, school district staff, health department staff, community leaders, sharing information, identifying areas where we need to collaborate more closely together or where things are working. We are adamant supporters of that, and we will continue to invest in that, and where challenges are identified, we'll just double down the efforts to make sure that everybody has what they need so this program can work. Lastly, I'll just say that the public-private partnership model that exists in Texas to drive this program brings together the best of what we all have to offer, federal, state, civil society. And I've been involved in refugee service in different countries around the world and different states around the U.S. for over 15 years, and I've never seen refugee resettlement and refugee integration working as well as I see it here working in Texas. As we face the worst forced migration crisis in the world since World War II, there's a lot that the world can learn from Texas's successful model and Texas's leadership on this program. We are very proud to be a part of that and to be working with our community leaders to make it work, again, for everyone, for our clients, and for the communities. So I thank you for your time and look forward to continuing to work with you.